What looks like a wraith, feels like a ghost, but has a light all its own? It's this, the 2016 Rolls-Royce Dawn. And make no mistake, this is not just a convertible wraith. I mean, sure, it's got the same proportions as a wraith, like a long bonnet, short front overhangs, and a high shoulder line, but it's also got that classic soft top, which you can raise and lower in 22 seconds at speeds of up to 30 miles an hour. Now, when it comes to the interior of the Dawn, well, it is everything that you would expect a Rolls-Royce to be, and everything that you would never expect to be in any car on the face of the planet ever. There's just this feeling of incredible elegance and sophistication and luxury. I mean, I've got this open grain wood here on my dashboard, on my center stack, inside the door panels, and even in the back seat. Now, you can get a piano black, but really, the open grain wood is just where it's at, and plus, there's no fingerprints that way, right? Everything's got a really great 1930s Art Deco feeling here in the center stack, in my gauge cluster, and in these glass buttons, which I can program to be whatever tech I want. So I can have my phone, my navigation system, everything right there at my fingertips. And these doors, the way they open, really allow for easy ingress and egress into the car, but they're a little difficult to close. But who closes their own door in a Rolls-Royce? Not this gal. Yeah, if the valet's not around, you can just press this little button right here and it'll close the door for you automatically. And let's say it rains and I forget my umbrella. Well, there's an umbrella in the door jamb. There is an umbrella in the door jamb, y'all. Everything is down to personalization and customization. My HVAC is controlled by these little knobs, so I can just pull them in or out and have a complete control of how much air is coming out. And of course, I'm not limited to just low and high. I've got soft, medium, high, and max when it comes to my HVAC. And let's say that I want hot on my feet but cold up here. Well, I can do that. And I can even have my heated seats and my cooled seats on at the same time. What? That's crazy. Now, when it comes to infotainment, I've got a 10.25-inch high-definition color screen, but it is not a touch screen. Everything is operated here from the center dial, and this center dial, I can actually write on it if I want to. It's a little slow. The voice control is also just a little slow, but it's able to get me to easy input into my navigation. But really, this is all about just cruising and enjoying the beautiful California lifestyle. But I do have one tiny little complaint about the interior here. I really love this gauge cluster, but below it, I have an LCD screen that's maybe 2 inches wide, but there's hardly any information that's displayed on it. Now, I can cycle through a few things like the miles left to my destination, the time that I'm going to arrive there, my average miles per gallon, but other than that, I have just a big blank space. You see a few things upon startup, but it really does seem like a waste of space when I have such a beautifully styled gauge cluster, which I'd like to see more of. When it comes to drive modes, well, baby, there is only one, and that is Aladdin Magic Carpet. My cohort over at Carfection in London, Alex Goy, he says that driving a Rolls-Royce Dawn is a little bit like driving a cloud, and I can't think of a better description. You really do feel like you're just floating along like the wind. The steering is so light that I could probably do a U-turn right here in the middle of PCH with one finger. But don't worry, there is still a monster lurking underneath the hood. I've got a 6.6 liter, not a V8, not even a V10, no, it's a V12, and that's knocking out 563 horsepower and 575 pound-feet of torque. Now, that all comes in at a pretty low RPM of about 1,500, so low, in fact, that the 8-speed automatic transmission usually will start you in second gear. If you want to access all of that torque, you can push this low button here, and the car will start in first gear. Now, it's certainly not a sports car. It's not even a Grand Tourer. This is a cruiser, baby. So you're not going to be getting some big starts off the line. Still, it will get you to 60 in about 4.9 seconds. So that's still a sub 5 second 0 to 60 time, and the car weighs 5,644 pounds. One of the more interesting technological features on this is that the 8-speed automatic transmission is actually satellite connected. So the GPS is going to read the road ahead of you, including curves and elevation changes, and then it's going to shift for you so that you're always in the right gear for whatever part of the road that you're on. And that makes for a very, very smooth drive and really helps contribute to that famous magic carpet ride. And instead of an RPM gauge, what I have here is a power reserve percentage gauge. So it lets me know how much I still have on tap. Now just cruising here, I'm at 50 miles an hour on PCH. It says that I've got 100% power reserve left. So let's see what that means when I put a little gas on it. Whoa, there she goes! You can really feel that torque kick in. It just pushes you into the back of your seat. All in all, though, I feel like I've got a little bit of quiet, understated elegance. I mean, sure, it's a Rolls-Royce. I've got the Spirit of Ecstasy right there on the bonnet to tell everybody what I've got. But at the same time, it just feels very natural to be cruising along in this car. I mean, look, I'm never going to be able to afford this car. I'm very lucky to be driving this car right now. But I do feel quite at home in all of this luxury. And in classic 1% fashion, if you have to ask how much it is, you probably can't afford it. But don't worry, I'm here to satisfy your curiosity. The base model of the Rolls-Royce Dawn comes in at about $335,000. But really, are you gonna buy a base model Dawn? Of course not. Expect to pay about $400,000. And if you act now, you might be able to get one by Christmas, but probably more than likely Valentine's Day of 2017. After all, it takes a while to make a bespoke car, and sorry, but you gotta get in line just like the rest of the schmucks.